Welcome to YOUCANIC. Today here in YOUCANIC we have our 2016 Dodge Journey. It's got the 3.6 Pentastar motor. We have a check engine light that's on. So we have just our basic YOUCANIC scanner. This is just basic for engine codes, and so we're going to read our engine code and see what it is. So we have it hooked up to the OBD2 scan. We have the car in the run position but not actually on. And so we're going to read what the code is. We're going to go into diagnostic. Now we're communicating with the ECU. It says that we have our check engine code on. We're going to read those codes, the stored codes. We've got one that the camshaft position actuator circuit on bank 2 is what we need to be looking at. So we're going to go look for the camshaft position actuator, and this is the camshaft, the A camshaft. So there's an A camshaft and a B camshaft, and we're going to go take a look at that, and we are in bank 2. There's going to be bank 1 and there's going to be bank 2. So we'll go over how you would replace that. So out here in the front of the motor we have our engine cover here. We're going to go ahead and remove this. We'll be able to pop that off, and then we're going to be able to get to the camshaft position sensors, or the what they call the actuators on here. So we've got one right here and two right here, and this is bank 2. It's on the front side of the motor. And this is bank 1, because cylinder 1 would denote that bank 1, right? So on bank 1 you've got 2 sensors also, and then we have 2 here because we've got dual overhead cams in both sides. And so this one goes by A and this one goes by B, and it'd be the same on the other side. You'd have A and B because they're starting from the center going out. So we're going to need to replace this sensor, or at least it's what the that is one place that we can start. There could be other reasons and other problems causing this to malfunction. The timing chain and belt getting out of sync and wearing out, and this can be something that's going to go and basically giving you a sign. But you can start by replacing this, and if the code keeps coming on, well, then you know you've got to work on something else and see what else may be a problem. So at first you're going to be able to unhook this by squeezing it together and pulling it out, and then you're going to need to get your T25. And there's 3 bolts holding this in. When you remove those 3 bolts, now you should be able to just kind of rock and move this out and be able to pull this out, and you would take this and get a new one, and we'd also want to replace the rubber gasket with it. Right, so you take your new gasket, we're going to install it in there. Just get it to go in the groove there and just work your way around. Okay, then we're going to take our sensor and line it up. We want to try to do our best to put it back the way it came out, and that was with this going this way. We can check it to make sure that our electric connector will hook up. You're going to want to you tighten these kind of evenly. Have that rubber gasket seat evenly all the way around. Now we're just bringing them snug. We don't want to go crazy tight on these since it's just plastic in there. Okay. So that's been replaced. Then we're just going to go ahead and put our electric connector back on. Make sure that we've attached it. Decorative cover back on here. and we'll clear the code. Takes 4 or 5 cycles, and that's time starting it, driving it around, doing whatever, and for it to communicate sometimes with the ECU. And if the code doesn't come back on, then it potentially was just the sensor. If the code does come back on, then you're going to need to be looking a little bit deeper for what else could be causing the code for your camshaft position sensor. So back here with the ignition in the on position, engine not running, we can go in and delete the codes. So we're going to back up because we know that we replaced that piece, and then we're going to erase codes. We say yes, and key to back out. And now to double check that that worked, you'll start your vehicle and see that the engine code is off. And like I said, just drive it around a few times, cycle it a few more times, starting. Just go back to your normal everyday cares, and if it comes back on and if it's the same code, well then you're definitely going to need to be looking for something else. Like I said, timing chain, timing belt, and it's getting stretched and getting out of sync. But that's how you would replace that camshaft position sensor on the bank. That was bank 2, sensor A. They're all replaced the same. Thanks for watching YOUCANIC, or you can be the mechanic.